All righty.
Okay, we are live. Go ahead.
We are live and welcome to our exclusive event, The Future of AI in Entertainment, Leveraging AITV and Engetic Media for Competitive Advantages. Today's session isn't just a discussion, it's your opportunity to get ahead of the curve as AI rapidly redefines success in entertainment. Hear from top AI, technology, and business leaders about why the highest growth opportunities are available to those who move fast. So again, welcome. Want to take a minute and kind of walk through the environment that you're seeing this in. It's not your normal webinar environment. This is leveraging some of the technology that AITV is bringing to the table. You can see in the screen, there's lots of little bells and whistles on the presentation screen. We'll be going into those in future episodes. Those won't be live for you today. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the chat. This is a discussion. Please put your comments and everything in the chat, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. Don't worry if we're not able to get your question in this session. You can reach out to us, and we're going to be leaving links in the chat on where you can reach out and you can request a copy of this recording as well as request a one-on-one session to get all your questions answered. So please ask questions, seeing those come in now. You'll also see in the environment, the top screen is where this presentation is happening. If you go below that, there's a virtual store. Be careful, it's a live store and there's some really, really nice expensive items. So watch your checkbook. Just to kind of give you a taste of what different options are available and what we can do. So we hope you enjoy all that. Stick around after the webinar and kick around the site and see what you like and what you don't like. But anyway, my name is Philip Molinex. I'm on the marketing team with AITV. I've been in online marketing for a very long time, back when normal SEO was stuffing a web page with a keyword that was over and over and over again in the same color as your background. So people couldn't see it, but Google could. Let's just say marketing has come a long way since then. And with AI now in the mix, those changes are coming faster than ever. It's actually not long ago because of this that I realized that if I didn't actually start using AI myself, and not only that, upscaling my abilities, I was going to get left behind and fast. And the scary part for me was with over 15 years of experience helping brands win online and grow market share and increase revenue, all that experience is not going to be enough to be competitive in the new AI landscape. And that's why I personally decided to join with AITV. So not only can I have a front row seat to the new world that is being created because of AI, that I can also be part of that transformation. Now, with AI, the future of TV is here. So let's dive in and first meet our founders and find out what drives them. We'll start with a little introduction, and then I'll give them an opportunity to speak here in a second. Mark is our CEO and co-founder. Mark is a seasoned technology executive and serial entrepreneur. He's got a track record of building and exiting 3 global startups acquired by Fortune 500 companies. Mark's previously served as a managing director at Trident Capital, a top-tier Silicon Valley venture capital, and also senior vice president of global IT and CIO of Oracle. So an impressive background there. Dr. Murati is our co-founder. He is a pioneering entrepreneur in information, communication, and technology with over 44 years of experience. He introduced the world's first rule-based AI practice management software back in 1989 and has led innovations across AI, media streaming, and healthcare tech. So what is AI TV and what do we do? Mark, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us why you and Dr. Murati started AITV and give us a brief overview of what AITV does.
Yeah, thanks, Philip. Happy to do that. I got to meet and really get to know Dr. Murati, over the last year. He's got an incredibly impressive background, including receiving U.S. President Technical Excellence Awards on top of all the things he's done in taking companies public and the like. But I was very impressed with him as an individual and as a person. We got to know each other really well. We collectively came to the conclusion that now is the perfect time to be bringing AITV to the marketplace. And, to give you a little feel for what it's all about, we'll delve into this in more detail in a minute. But, AITV merges Web 3.0 infrastructure, AI intelligence, and low latency streaming to deliver two-way interactive personalized television. Our technology allows broadcasters, governments, telcos, creators, smart TV producers to own their personalized audience relationships and unlock new revenue monetizations. And clearly that's a really important part of, what this value proposition is all about. And AI is changing every business around the globe. I work with a variety of companies on a consultative basis, and we're finding that every board in the world is asking the question how AI is going to impact their business. And there's a clear driving urgency to recognize the importance of being able to bring things like what we're bringing to the marketplace. Back to you, Phillips.
Unmute yourself, Philip. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Dr. Murati, can you give us a brief overview of what brought you to work with Mark and why AITV matters?
Mark is a esteemed colleague with an impeccable background, living in a lifespan of 30 years, 3 decades in Silicon Valley. And he is not only a great individual as a human being, but he is a visionary, and he has had the ability with Oracle to manage a lot of pain points, from bringing acquisitions, growing the business, taking the floppy disk and the DVDs and so forth that we used to receive in the old days as a package. Then we would place the order into a cloud formation. So with that kind of a mindset, we had to basically create a meeting of mind. And just like Mark said himself, it was love at first sight. We agreed that there is a mutual opportunity that we can create the next generation of disruptors, and we called it AITV for several reasons. Number one is we were all, as old timers call it, because we all got our white hair and so forth, is because we were born and raised with the TV. So it always was a part of a fixture in our homes, right? Till the Gen A and Gen Z that they have, and they love their large screens, those 103 inches, the video walls and everything else. And we felt AI has a very good space in here because you've been involved in AI since 1986. I can tell you one thing, that we always want to bring the good AI that it can serve humanity. So we wanted to avoid deep fake news, and so forth. And in light of that pursuit, we decided to take a global challenge that right now it exists among broadcasters and TV networks that I worked with in Asia Pacific broadcast or in European broadcast, is the factor that Mark again mentioned about two of the most important things that we learned from the broadcasters and the producers, meaning that they want to have ability to manage and control rather than losing their jobs to AI. And at the same time, that human element and that human creativity that manages the production and distribution can create a new monetization models. They can give us the capability of creating additional streams of income opportunity. And that's why we came together. Back to you, Philip.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So now we're going to go into broadcasting disruption, an overview, and then the AI revolution. So Mark, first question to you. Can you give us a short history lesson of how the broadcast industry has changed over the years and who the disruptors have been?
Yeah, great question, Philip. So, if you look back, to the very earliest days of television, I think this was even the late 40s, early 50s, there was some basic core capability of sending broadcast signals over the air. And in order to pay for that, there was a relationship built with advertisers to
We seem to have a mark with a little bandwidth technical difficulty. So we apologize in advance. Bandwidth is always a commodity. So while Mark is
Absolutely.
getting constituted with his communication, I can tell you, just to continue the conversation, that television has come from the old rabbit ears all the way to the time that I worked with the direct TV, for example, and bringing satellites from direct to home and competing against the cable guys. So with that kind of a mindset, one of the things that we wanted to do is always create the next generation. Then when OTT came out, and as you probably recall, people started cutting cords with their cable operators and with their TV networks, such as DirecTV or Dish and so forth. The challenge came out that the streaming became the dominant force. And actually, credit to Netflix that originally they were trying to sell themselves to Blockbuster, but then they end up delivering DVD, and then they created the next generation of transformation that now we call it streaming, right? Along with the CD and
Right.
service providers. So taking that into a consideration and adding that factor into the equation, it gave us the ability now to bring the next generation of what we call smart or connected TV into a new paradigm. And that paradigm is where AI becomes part of your experience and allows you to engage and interact in a two-way format with your television versus a traditional way that you just watching it passively. Back to you, Philip.
Yeah, thanks for helping out there and kind of filling in. And that leads nicely into the next question that I had for you, Dr. Murati, as if you could give us a high-level overview of AITV and what AITV is bringing to the entertainment table.
AITV, in my design over the last, call it 20, 25 years, working around the globe with different broadcasting federations, understanding their pain point and understanding the consumers with the privacy, the security, the requirements that we have, we decided that AITV becomes an amalgam of what we call multi layers of communications, collaboration, and broadcast. So we can serve the users as a user-generated content, as well as the creative channels, where, for example, musicians want to build their own channels, they want to be able to monetize it, and so forth, or going into the TV networks and OTT and CDN where they have content and they want to create more customer journey experiences along with their own advertising and brands. So therefore, we brought that into that kind of a modalities that we can work with this segmentation of market for watch parties. And more importantly, there are experimentations that people are doing, just like the days of reality shows. Now they want to experiment with interactive AI TV, where then can capture you, for example, Philip, right from your screen, bring you to your television and feed you to a broadcast, and you can be a part of a contestant and
Wow.
playing in a game show, for example, or watching a event that others are watching you. So this kind of events becomes production centric. And more importantly, AI designed that it creates studios, both for the users and for the production house, that they can create high definition content based on their script and their prompt, and be able to use that for a special effect for their own storytelling without incurring a lot of cost for the CGI, for the rendering, for the video, like you see with the animation movies, for instance.
Wow.
Then taking that into one step above, called network aggregators like Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, etc. The idea is that they can bring their content through the licensing and rights management and create for their audience watch parties. So these are some of the highlights of what makes up what we call the ecosystem of AITV.
Thank you for that explanation. That's and very helpful. And that prompted our first question. So I'd like to kind of cut to that now. George is asking, as a content creator, a content distributor, how do they make money on this?
Exactly. Our belief is that an AI agent becomes your delivery boy, for a better lack of a term. Think of NBC, ABC, where they started years ago building affiliate, right? NBC New York, NBC LA, NBC Miami, right? Everybody has
Right.
their own property and rights management, but at the same time, when they're sharing, content, they're distributing among each other. We thought this scale should go on a global scale, where all the TV networks through broadcasters such as Asia Pacific, such as the European broadcast, world broadcast, they can connect together. So when you want to distribute the content based on rights management, geo IP, licensing, and so forth, AI can increase your eyeball. I'll give you one example that is happening right now, for example, in the island of Puerto Rico, where I reside. Originally, Telemundo and Televisa used to become the key supplier of novellas, the soap operas, for the Puerto Rican population. All of a sudden, you see from Turkey, the Ottoman stories are coming with a new dub and story, and that became the number one. So that means Turkey all of a sudden was able to persuade an audience of 4 million people in the island to watch that religiously as their episodes, as novella.
Wow.
So that kind of opportunity is happening all around the globe, actually, because people are thirsty for new content, understanding that local culture. And that is one of the reasons that we believe that through AI delivery, by personalization, with the rights management and your liking, that content for the distributors can become an invaluable asset of monetization.
Wow, so it really sounds like AITV is allowing you to have a global perspective and for entertainment, but it also sounds like a personalized experience at the same time.
Well, that was
So
the
kind
whole
of
story that Mark, unfortunately, we dropped his signal here, and hopefully he'll show up because he had, California has some power grid issue. I have the same thing.
Yeah.
So forgive us for losing one of our audience, but we will create a new episode with Mark and share that with you. But more importantly, one of the areas that we are always looking at it as thinking local and acting global. So with that kind of a mindset, we want to be able, the local distributors, that they have limitations in their own distribution to be able to connect to an AI engine, that delivery becomes global.
fantastic. Awesome. Well, we'll move. Thanks for that explanation. We'll move along to the next section.
Sure.
Angenic AI and the ultimate differentiator. So, Dr. Muradi, can you talk to us about how AITV is taking the traditional TV set and turning it into an AI-powered interactive experience? So how am I taking that big TV sitting on my wall that barely gets watched and doing something useful with it?
Well, great question. You know, you got a little plugin called HDMIs in the back of your TV. Okay, that becomes our real estate, if you will. And that AI TV allows you now, when you turn on your TV, go to your passive mode, if you will. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And then with that kind of a passive mode, you still can watch. So we are not taking away anything from you. You still have the ability to switch from your Netflix to your Prime to, Paramount, Disney, etc. But when you come and activate your other HDMI, your interactive experiences becomes two ways. You interact with your television, your AI human digital, call it butler or concierge, becomes active. It learns from you, it listens to you, it applies the knowledge that you bring, what we call personalized LLM, versus the knowledge base that's available in the mass market. Okay.
Gotcha.
And that personalization gives you an ability to create new experiences. And more importantly, connecting the TV as your command center through IoT to 600 million devices. So now we can create that kind of experience that your command center, your television, that you can take it with you, by the way, through your PCs, laptop, and tablets, and so forth. But more importantly, you have a place where you can bring back the family and create new sets of experiences that we are going to share with you in the future.
I love how that using technology to bring the family back together. I think that's a really powerful point.
Absolutely.
So we've got another question here. This one's coming from Melissa. How long, and Mark, so how long would it take to implement something like AITV?
Oh, that's a great question. And I'll context it with my history at Oracle, where, quite frankly, Oracle's, capabilities are very complex. But in order to typically, replace an existing accounting system with an Oracle system, you had to forklift out their existing infrastructure.
And Mark again dropped out.
And we lost him again.
I apologize. We're going to blame it on Silicon Valley because I'm still coming alive and Philip is online.
Well, I'll hold down the fort if you lose power as well.
Yeah, of course. It's part of hurricane season.
Yeah, so Dr. Marati will pose the same question to you.
Yeah.
If I'm a broadcaster or content creator or, in the entertainment industry, what does it take to get set up with AITV? Is that a heavy lift or how does that happen?
Normally, we start with the discovery call to learn and understand the vision, the mission, and goals and objectives of the project. For example, this can be a campaign, it can be a pilot, it can be a season, it can be an event like webisodes and so forth. So the producers, the creative mind sits down and they share their requirements with us. If you are working with the TV networks or with the OTT, for example, they say, we want to establish for holiday season sponsored by let's say a pizza operation, buy a pizza and receive a room. The movie is on us, right? That becomes a model for bringing the advertisers, bringing in the streaming, and bringing the consumers with a CTA called call to action that it defines KPI, because at the end of the day, when we are advertising, we want somebody to buy something from us, right? Or sell or provide a service. So we felt that is important that we create that kind of incentive through AITV so they can monitor and measure the data, and also without losing the privacy, because if I have given you the right and that little QR is sitting in your bottle of beer, for example, and I say, bother, get a beer and get a room for your digital media channel brought to you by the brand sponsor, you can simply scan it with your own rights management, register your own, right? And make that room available to yourself and to the number of the people that they can help you to bring that service together, or share that in the watch party with you as you invite them inside the room. Back to you, Philip.
Fantastic. So it doesn't sound like it's an overly long process and there's not a lot of challenge with it, but there's a lot of capability and a lot of ways to connect with various audiences and brands.
Correct, because depending on the skill set, like when you're dealing with the TV networks, that they are familiar with the Avid system or with the OBS or with that kind of a broadcasting, then you talk their language. But when you're talking to an influencer or a musician who wants to build his own brand from ground up and help out with distribution, that becomes a channel. So that is one of the reasons.
Gotcha. Thank you. Now that we've got Mark back here, got another question for Mark. So there's a lot of industries in the entertainment industry, but let's take broadcasters for an example. What are the challenges that broadcasters are facing with the rise of AI?
Well, it's as I mentioned earlier, Philip. We're faced with they're faced with fundamental FOMO and FUD related reactions, right? FOMO meaning this stuff is coming on so fast and their boards are asking them, how are you going to deploy? And when are you going to have it deployed? And what's the form for doing that? The challenge is having the ability and knowledge to move things forward quickly. And why we're so excited about what we're bringing to the market is because we believe we can enable those broadcasters, for the reasons we talked about here on the call, to be able to implement in a very short period of time.
Philip, you're muted. Philip, you're muted.
Sorry about that. So thanks for that response, Mark. And since we've got you back and you seem stable at the moment, I'll throw the next question to you as well. What sets AITV apart, and what value does it give to the different sectors inside of the entertainment industry?
Well, you look at what we bring to the table, as a management team, as you mentioned earlier on, I was in the venture capital world, and I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of management teams, startup management teams coming forward. And to be honest, the reason I've opted to take on this relationship is because I've never seen a management team this strong before. And I'm not hyperbolizing when I say that, both from a broadcast standpoint of experience to enterprise software experience. We've got the knowledge and the capabilities to be able to bring a solution to market in a way that will enable the broadcasters to very quickly implement the functionality that we're bringing to the table.
Fantastic. So we do. Another question that's come from Frank is, do we have any competitors?
We have everybody as our competitors, actually. But one of the things that we've done in here, we decided to team up with some of the industry leader players because we have been working with them for years, such as, for example, Google, and bringing Zoom, and bringing people like, for example, Stripe as our strategic partners in the development process, along with the AI engines and deployment of several services and technology players as our suppliers. The idea was that we wanted to create this kind of AITV become vendor agnostic. And one of the objectives was to give the liberty and the power to the TV guys that they have signed up, such as CDN, for example, because content delivery network, now it's a widely known industry. Organizations around the globe over the last 20 years, 30 years, they've been using CDN, whether you do Xbox, for example, or we are doing a live streaming in here, right? We are using some form of a CDN to deliver the content to our target audience. Taking that into a consideration, we wanted always to look at the client's needs. And that is one of the reasons in this early stage, before we start the official broadcast to the audiences and so forth, we are literally working with all the TV networks around the globe, helping them out to achieve and implement new ways and new experimentation that they can collect data. With that data, as we all say, data never lies, then they can apply that into their own business intelligence, AI engineering, and create the working models that it suits that audience based on that geo-IP. Because as you know, in certain countries, for example, censorship is part of the law, for instance, right? When you go to certain countries where religion has taken over, right, as the dominant factor of the rules, they have regulations. So therefore, we want that diversity to become applied based on geo-IP, and that's one of the reasons we created the diversity of the ecosystem to adopt, but yet connect all of those together globally into what we call eventually a quantum TV, where IPs and other technologies will be applied. That obviously those are the vision, mission, goals, and objectives that Mark and I have shared with our constituents and our development team, and they're all excited to bring that to the marketplace. Back to you, Philip.
Yeah, well, one point I'd add to that, just to be clear, we are not in the B2C business. We do not want to be, managing the end clients, because we want to work through those partnerships with, as Dr. M mentioned, with the broadcasters, the telcos of the world, as our partners in delivering to the end customers. Because quite frankly, if we were in the B2C world, we'd be competing with them, and we don't want to do that. We want to partner, build the relationships, build on our knowledge base, our IP, our patented technology, all of those things that we can leverage to partner with the broadcast industry.
I love that. That it sounds like we're positioned to be, instead of having competition, being a partner to everyone, which I think is a great place to be. The next question kind of leads us into the next section, so I'll save it for just a second here. But want to talk about getting involved with AITV and that your competitive edge can start today. So let's talk about how you can turn these trends into your advantage before your competitors do. So the question that came from Will is, how can I learn more about AITV and how it specifically relates to their specific business? Mark, you want to take that one for us?
Yeah, sure, Phil. Yeah, Phil, we'd be happy to set up a one-on-one call, after this webinar to drill down into that, because that's exactly how we're working with our other prospects and building relationships. It's understanding your needs, your priorities, and we can show you a game plan to take you from what I call your as-is condition to a future state. In my past life, one thing we didn't talk about is I ran a telco outsourcing business for SAIC, where we did exactly that. We took clients from, sometimes they were brand new telcos, this is during deregulation years, to bringing them into the marketplace with what we call the telco in a box ASP model. That's very similar to the process we will go through and are going through with our prospects as we talk. So there's discovery followed by defining the implementation, phasing, and then ultimately moving towards an execution, live phase.
Right.
Well, it sounds like you got it set up to be as simple as possible. Love that. Great response, very succinct. I think that will help. And just so everyone knows, a link was just dropped into the chat. If you go to that link, it takes you to where you can request a copy of this event. It also allows you to schedule one of those one-on-one demonstrations and conversations. So feel free to do that and get your questions answered. And I like how easy it is to act. Dr. Murati, we'll finish with you and ask one final kind of question before we close this up. And why is it important for people to act now?
Well, why is it important to get your first iPhone? Why is it so important to go to Star Wars? It's because we love what we do, right? And we have a very simple slogan on AITV. You got to love it and you got to live it. And if you put the two together, that's your motive. We want you to be part of that excitement with us. If we can build it with you, with your permission, with your rights management, with your privacy, then we are changing the paradox of the entire user experience, along the fact that we are giving you the content through your own rights management that you feel that it's important to you, not by us putting and stealing your time like we do now with the advertisers. Every time you want to watch a little YouTube, you got to steal a little time here, right? And then somebody else monetizes. This kind of issues is annoying to us at this age. And we are thinking through AITV, we can change the paradox of advertising, the paradox of content distribution, the paradox of user experiences, and created a new customer journey that otherwise would not have been realized, along with the new streams of income opportunity to our partners. Back to you, Philip.
Well, it sounds like I took the right opportunity at the right time to join AITV, because this is definitely the front row seat. The AI revolution in entertainment is already driving new markets and revenue. Don't let your competitors seize the advantage. Forward-thinking brands and creatives are already partnering with AITV for massive head starts in reach, retention, and recurring income. If you want to be a leader and not a follower in the new digital era, contact our team. Let's get you launched with AITV. You can do an AI-powered channel or partner with the AITV network. we thank you for your participation today, and we hope to see you on our next episode.
Yes, and don't forget, we're going to have a series of webisodes that we're going to be sharing a lot of little tricks and know-hows with you guys. Because the more you know, the more informed you are, then the more intelligent decision you can apply and use that in your creative mindset to create the tool set that you need. And look, we want to be part of that experience with you. Back to you.
Absolutely.
And
I
Philip,
can't wait to share that.
Yeah, and Philip, don't forget to remind everybody about the QR code right there that's on the screen right now. That
Yeah.
they can access.
If you scan that QR code that's just above me, that will take you to the contact page. It was also dropped in the chat for just a traditional link. Reach out, talk with us. We will be posting on email and on social media about our next episode, which is 2 weeks from today. We'll be taking a little deeper dive into AITV and how companies can get involved, and we'll be doing more episodes like these going forward. So again, thank you, gentlemen, for your brilliant idea and bringing AITV to the forefront of the future, and for your time today.
And thank you for our team, because without them, we wouldn't be here.
That's right. Exactly right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.